Bloody state's going. They're glad.
Further privatisation of any public assets.
Lights as well.
Now, I was elected earlier this year under the pretense that I would stand up with my community and fight for the things that matter to them. And that is exactly what I am doing here today, and what Michael and Matt are also, and your councillors are here. They're standing up fighting for your community.
I stood next to Gladys Berejiklian in an ABC debate in the lead up to the election campaign, and I challenged the Premier to rule out further privatisations, and she said there would be no more. That wasn't just a lie, it was a disgusting ambush on the people who work in the bus system. It was a disgusting ambush on every commuter from this area. In addition to selling the buses, they're now talking about selling our state forests, and they're talking about selling the electronic system that the RTA developed that links all the red light, all the traffic systems across New South Wales. And folks, 3.5 years to go, they haven't even started.
Hi everyone, my name's Julie Buchanan. I'm a retired teacher and currently work as a marriage celebrant. 5 years ago, I never imagined I'd be here. 5 years ago, I never imagined we'd see catastrophic bushfires in New South Wales. 5 years ago, I never thought I'd have severe osteoarthritis in my right ankle. I never thought I'd have to buy a walking stick. I never thought I'd have to ask friends and neighbours to half carry me. Of course, some days I can't drive with the pain. I can't walk. But I do need buses. Yes, I have a car, but I need buses. I need to go to St Vincent's Hospital. I need to see the ankle specialist. And it's not convenient to drive. We've lost our 378 bus. Imagine all the elderly residents impacted by that. People needing to go to St Vinny's. People who do not drive. They have lost their bus service. At the same time as losing our bus services and losing some of our bus stops, there are thousands more cars on the road every month. Not hundreds, thousands. Gladys Berejiklian and her government has basically destroyed my life and the life of many, many, many others. My elderly mother-in-law, father-in-law, they live at Coogee. Eric doesn't drive. He's always caught buses. Carmen can no longer drive. She handed her licence in last year. Normally, they would get one bus into the city. Now, it'll be one bus, get off that bus, get on a light rail. That's okay if you're able-bodied. It's not okay if you've got a four-wheel walker or a walking stick. We are not a third world country, but we have third world leadership in this country. It's time for this government to actually listen to ordinary people like us. Please listen.
Julie, always gets you emotional, grandmas. As the 378 was taken away from the top of her street in Bondi Junction, she has now lost the ability to get there easily, as have many of her friends. Gladys Berejiklian promised this service would be reinstated. The only reason my grandma voted for her, as many others did. But now she has gone back on her word. She doesn't seem to understand the impact this has had on my family and many others. My grandmother, who lost her husband 2 years ago and looked forward to meeting her friends down at the beach, now feels isolated and can't physically make it to Bondi Junction station, instead needing to catch 2 buses now and pay more. The other day, my grandmother took 2 hours just to get to my place here in Randwick. She wanted to come and be with her great-grandchildren. This shouldn't be so hard, and she made it in the end, but with the privatisation of buses, she may not be able to get to see her family as often as she would like. It creates isolation. Yes. There has already been a betrayal for Sydney commuters. There should be laws in place which make political lying and deception a criminal offence. So let's get back to what is really important. Providing a reliable service for our local community, listening to the fact that it hasn't worked in other areas, and keeping small businesses afloat. We can't let the government get away with this, if for not our sake, but for the sake of our elderly and our future children.
Bianca, thank you so much. When you cut public transport, it creates isolation, particularly for our elderly, and that has a huge flow-on effect. And as you're right, climate change is the biggest issue that we are all facing. We need people to get in more public transport, not less.
The bus services in our community, and that is exactly what this government is doing, and our community will suffer. The evidence from the United Kingdom when they privatised bus services was that over time, unprofitable routes will be cancelled. The elderly will suffer, and vulnerable people like children and people with disabilities suffer. Workers suffer when they cut pay and conditions after privatisation. No one wins from privatisation, and our community will suffer if the government proceeds with this disastrous proposal. We have a growing population in this area. You can see it with the high-rise going up everywhere. We need better bus services, not cuts to bus services. I want to congratulate the wonderful RTBU, the ETU, Unions New South Wales for the fantastic campaign that they've run, particularly the drivers and all that work on our fantastic bus service here in the local community. You're a credit to our local community. We support you 100%. We will fight to make sure that we try and maintain these bus services in public hands here in our community. Now, friends, the Premier is about to get off a tram over here, I'm told. A tram, by the way, that's $1 billion over budget, 18 months behind schedule, and I'm told it takes 50 minutes to get the tram from Circular Quay up here to Randwick. I could run that quicker. What is the point? What about all the small businesses that went broke along Anzac Parade? What about the disruption to our community from this? Now, the Premier's about to hop off that tram over there. We need to make sure that she knows how angry we are about the privatisation of bus services. So let's give it to the Premier. Save our buses! 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 Save our buses!
This is what is a priority. Safety, community. We go families. We can't look after your family when someone is looking after my own family in another bus. So it's really important for us. It's not about the profit, it's about the community.
And let's change this state so it actually reflects what people want, not what corporations and a couple of politicians in Macquarie Street want. Can we win this? Can we win this? Are we going to change this government? Are we going to make New South Wales better? Get out there and have a go. Thank you.
Spend some time examining how we got to this situation. We had a Metropolitan Mussolini in Andrew Constance who looked at the bus timetable in my area in Sans Souci and the Inner West and said, well, it's running on time reasonably well. I think we should privatise it. He privatised it and it's been in private hands for 15 months. It has never, ever met its on-time running. Not once, not in a single month. No time. So that was done in 2017. After the election comes and goes, he says, well, I'm going to continue this experiment and sell off regions 7, 8 and 9. Now, we're often told by the Tories... This is driven by data, by facts. Don't get caught up on ideology. Public ownership doesn't matter. But the information in front of us, the data in front of us shows this is not working. Services are being cut, on-time running performance is dropping, and wages and conditions for those people who are public servants, who are spending their days getting people to and from work, are being cut. So not even on their own data, not even their own information that they're presenting to you, the public, does this make sense. They privatise the bus network that runs on time, provides an efficient service for the people who live here, and build a $3 billion light rail behind us, which takes more than 50 minutes to get to the city. It's quicker to get from Penrith to Circular Quay than from Randwick to Circular Quay. It's 1 kilometre faster than a horse-drawn carriage. Fighting for common sense. We're fighting for a change that makes sense for commuters. It's a worthwhile fight and we need to continue it beyond Christmas and into the new year. Thank you very much for your attendance today.